What happens if one night you and your partner are put into a situation of defending yourself against individuals who targeted you for no other reason than you were home? Would you survive in the day and age of flip phones and lack of location software forcing you to defend yourself? That is the question in Bryan Bertino's directorial debut, The Strangers. Welcome everyone back to my channel. Please hit that like and subscribe button. Just a warning, there will be spoilers in this video, but I will put up a spoiler alert before we get into it. And we're also going to treat this as if the sequels did not come out at this time. So without further ado, let's get into The Strangers. The Strangers released in May of 2008 on a budget of 9 million. Despite the small budget at the time, the movie had effectively used its resources with its one set location to build the intense atmosphere and the sense of dread throughout the movie. Based on a real life experience of the director where he had someone come knock on his door as a kid in the middle of the night. Parents answered. Nothing came of it, but later to find out those individuals were actually breaking into homes. You are met with Kristen and James, played by Liv Tyler and Scott Speedman, a couple returning back to a remote summer home after attending a wedding. We don't know fully the story behind their relationship, as it appeared to have a strain as James had proposed earlier that evening, with Kristen declining, creating a palpable tension between the two. And really, who wants to go back to a remote place at 4 a.m. with the person you had just turned down the marriage proposal to, or the person that just declined your marriage proposal? This awkwardness in helps build the levels of tension throughout this film. It also gives the audience a small window into their lives. We really don't know why she turns down the marriage proposal, and we don't know what their future will entail. But everything changes with the knock at their door at 4 a.m. A woman showing up at your door at 4 a.m., seemingly innocently asking if Tamara was home, allows James to have his guard down. While if you look at Kristen the whole time, you can tell alarms are going off in her head. Something's not right about this scenario of a woman showing up at your door in a remote location at 4 a.m. Once the stranger leaves, however, James takes off, leaving Kristen alone. Now, at this point, Kristen is alone in a remote location, and she's starting to experience unsettling occurrences such as loud knocks, hearing movements around the house. And you have to remember the setting. This is early 2000s. This is not where cell phones were advanced, people were texting very often, and some of the time you barely had a signal when it came to cell phones back then. One of my favorite parts of the movie is in this, where she had earlier knocked down the fire alarm system was going off. So she knocked it down. Common, everybody does it, right? Lands on the floor. She then leaves and comes back, and then it's neatly placed on the chair. And her fight or flight goes off. She's starting to realize that there's something wrong. And as the audience, we have been able to watch as the strangers have left little clues and have done things to her and build the tension on our end. It adds almost something supernatural about the strangers in this scene as well, as if the audience doesn't know if they're human or if there's something more. James eventually makes his way back, and there's a great scene of them finally seeing the doll faced stranger outside. Shit. I have to leave my phone in the car. I'm gonna go get it. You can't go out. All right, we're about to get into spoiler territory, so here is your spoiler warning. Spoilers ahead. What entails for the rest of the movie is a chaotic home invasion. The strangers cut off power and phone lines. Kristen and James make several attempts to escape that are thwarted. The strangers even trick James into mistakenly shoot his best friend Michael, who was on his way to pick up James from an earlier phone call. I like this particular scene because it also shows the love James has for Kristen, as first shielding her from the horrors of what had just happened to Michael. After the several failed attempts of escaping, the couple is eventually captured by the strangers. In a chilling scene, Kristen and James are both bounded to chairs and confronted by the masked strangers. When asked why they've been terrorized this entire time, Dollface simply replies, because you were home.
Why are you doing this to us?
Because you were home.
The film ends on a grim note. James is repeatedly stabbed while Kristen tries to comfort him in what might be his final moments. The next morning, two boys discovered the aftermath, having Kristen barely alive, screaming as one reaches out, her leaving the audience with an unsettling ending. And there you have it, folks. The Strangers, one of my favorite home invasion movies. The limited location, the mystery around the strangers plays perfectly here. I get it, we have sequels, but let's just take it in its little bubble by itself. You could feel Kristen and James's fear amp up with every scene. It's almost a voyeurism for the audience, a glimpse into a normal couple's life, having them face one of the worst nightmares as death basically knocks at their door. I want to thank everybody for watching. Please leave a comment below. Did you like The Strangers? Is there a movie you would like me to review? And until next time, everybody, stay spooky.